Welcome. Here I want to talk about Soulbinder, Mythic difficulty. Since you guys liked the Lumitar video, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go back the catalog of the bosses, just go over all of them. Probably just gonna upload Plexus Sentinel next, real quick, since that is pretty straightforward, and then I'm gonna move on to the harder bosses like Practilus / Forge Weaver, which I have done as well already. But this fight is pretty straightforward. This was our first kill, so this is going to be a bit longer. I'll be probably silent for the most part of the video, since there's not much happening. Pretty straightforward. You just want to run Attunement / Resonance Talents. And you want to, importantly, delay your cooldown. So actually, let's just start. Yeah, let's see how much I delay the cooldowns, but it should be approximately by 20 seconds. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's see. Here I just orb on pool, because why not? I think I'm saving the pot for the cooldowns. Yeah, I really just copied whatever the top log was doing at the time, and they were delaying the cooldown, so I'm like, why the fuck not? Yeah, I think here around the 20-second mark, I start evocating, yep, and then just going into my burst. Pot as well. And then I'm just blasting. Just standard rotation stuff. Nothing really interesting going on here. When it comes to the mechanics, you just want to make sure that if you get targeted by the orb or the beam, that you hit the canisters, and that when you get knocked back, you can blink, but every time you knock back, even if you blink, it's gonna spawn a puddle. So you can see my teammates are pre-positioning so that the orb hits the cage, and then I'm going behind the cage with the line so that the line hits the cage and it breaks out the ads, yeah? But besides that, just doing standard stuff, really nothing important. It's really just break out the ads, get knocked together so that you don't actually spawn the puddles all around the room, which we're kind of failing to do, but whatever. The boss is just easiest. Very easy. And here, just because I delayed the cooldowns by 20 seconds on pool, I will have cooldowns now for these ads, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? Well, looks like I ran here, and I kind of still delaying, actually. I think I'm delaying for the remaining ads in 10 seconds. Yeah, but I'm running as hell here because I'm delaying my evocation, and that is not good. Alright, around the 155 mark, I pop my second surge. Exactly when the 5 ad spawns, so that is perfect for, you could say, funnel / pad, yeah? Which you don't really need to try hard boss damage. And actually, I think this also did more boss damage because of resonance, so... Boom, boom, boom. Nothing interesting going on, just standard rotation stuff. I am kind of swapping around the targets to pad the execute barrages a little bit, yeah, but... Yeah, like, I don't think you need to necessarily try hard anything about this boss fight, just to kill it. Just make sure that you don't, you know, fail the mechanics of breaking the cages. So again, if you get the stars with the orbs, you need to break out the cage. You need to hit the cage with the orb. And if you get the beam, you have to go behind the cage. That's the entirety of the fight, yeah? And as we can see, we popped first, yeah, we get the line, we go behind. Yeah, we don't have cooldowns here, so we're just not going to be doing much. If you soak an orb, you get 25% haste reduction, so I would heavily recommend dodge those. Yeah, but again, first surge was on 20 seconds, second was like 150. You can buy back the video to see my exact surge usage. And then I'm pretty much popping the third one on CD. Don't know if that was actually intended. Probably was. I got a pretty good log with this, so... But also because this is the first week and people were probably not killing the ads as fast as they would be this week, yeah? Yeah, it spawned just on Arcane Soul, so there's actually value in that, so I think this cooldown usage was correct anyway. Yeah, even if you think that just by delaying the cooldowns by 20 seconds is a pad, you're gaining resonance value, which is funnel. I think it's actually fine in that regard, yeah? Yeah, I get knocked, then I blink away, then we're going back to the middle of the room, and my cooldowns should more or less line up for those again. Not really exactly, but more or less they will. Again, you can see that the orbs are breaking the cages out with the lines. Just make sure that you're not soaking any orbs in this fight. And nothing interesting going on here, just sending a random ass orb. And then the big ad wave is coming again, but we do not sadly have cooldowns for these. But we will get them eventually. It will just not be the full usage if I'm not mistaken, yeah. But let's see. Yeah, I do the extra orb here with Barrage. Actually, touches should be exploding on the ads, so not a bad value. But the Arcane Soul value will not be there. Almost died here. Scary. Yeah, just standard stuff happening. We have a few people dead, but the fight is a joke, so it's just going to roll over. It's pretty much the same stuff happening. There is nothing interesting going on. Just the room gets more cluttered with the puddles. That's why it is not good if you have people spread around during the knockback, because that's just going to break stuff. And I think at this point we decided not to break any of the ads. So as you can see, the line just went into the middle. Yeah, we're basically deciding, okay, the next ad break is in 120. And the boss should be dead by then, yeah. So we're just blasting boss here. Yeah, standard cooldown usage. There is no reason to hold at this point because there's no more ads. So just pop on CD. Yeah, don't forget, since you're playing 8 recruitment here, you don't want to clip those on single target. And it's pretty much the same stuff until the boss dies. I think we are going to cut it close here with the remaining ad spawn, but I think that the boss just flops over right after that, yeah. But yeah, I don't think you need to try hard anything about this fight. Like, you know, like, oh, I need to like pop my cooldowns really on point, on pull, because delaying them is bad. This boss is a joke. So just really press them the way I press them, yeah, if you want a high damage lock. Yeah, I always recommend on fights like these, just check what the top 5 people are doing in the logs when they're popping the cooldowns and just copy that. Yeah, that's what I did here. The ad spawn, but it's not going to matter because the boss should be dead right after that, yeah. Here the objective is just to kind of live, which we are succeeding it. And then the boss dies, yeah. So, just to summarize it, first Arcane Surge should be popped around the 20, or like you should start evocating around the 20-second mark, as we can see here. First evocation. Then the second one is also being weirdly delayed. Just make sure that you watch your mana, because the longer you delay your cooldowns, the more likely you'll go which I kind of didn't expect here, so I was caught off guard by that. Since it was our first pull as well, I did not really have time to adapt. And as you can see, the second surge / evocation is happening around the 156 mark. Maybe there's a better optimization, better time, but that's how I did it, yeah. So around the 156 mark. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it is just being pressed on CD. Yeah, so that is the only special fight here. You can't really do anything special here as a mage. If you blink the knockback, you will spawn the puddle at the location of the blink landing. Yeah, so make sure that you don't blink, like, you know, somewhere where you will want to move with the entire raid group, because that could ruin things for a lot of people. But then, if I'm not mistaken, everything is being popped on cooldown. Yes, so delay changed it first to surge usages. Maybe there's a better usage to do it. Just check what the top logs are doing, but this yielded a pretty good damage log the first week. Yeah, compared to Envy, my other mage, which was just ripping it on cooldown, and he was not having a fun time. Yeah, he told me that he did not know that the holding cooldown here is a tech, because if you don't hold cooldowns, I don't think anything lines up whatsoever on the ads. So that's pretty much it. Mechanic wise, hit the orb, the cage that you want to break with the orb. Just make sure the arrow goes there. Yeah, these arrows. And then the line has to hit as well, that 2 people get targeted by. That's it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be uploading the Plexus Sentinel next and the other videos. Let me know if you guys like this format of video. I got pretty good feedback on the previous one. And I would actually like to keep doing this over the just like raw video files of me just, you know, doing my rotation and whatever without any commentary. So I prefer to be doing these, yeah. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.